Welcome to episode 536, Herbert Wertheim, 8 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 536, lesson 1 to lesson 4. This is an outline of episode 536, lesson 5 to lesson 8. Lesson number 1, why is he the happiest self-made billionaire in the world? Because of his giving. He started his foundation in 1977 when he was 38 years old. He has been giving out charity for the past 42 years.
I think it's part of human nature to give. How much you give is a matter of opportunity, not necessarily who you are, but the opportunity to see a need and fulfill that need. Our foundation is 41 years old. 1977 it was started, and our first donation was to the Boy Scouts of America, because when I was growing up, scouting was very important to me. It was really my family. And why did we start a foundation? I just thought at the time it was a good idea. It's not that I had a lot of money. I don't believe it's how much you have, but what you do with what you have.
The only other self-made billionaire who started his foundation in his 30s is Paul Tudor Jones. Please watch episode 260 and 259 of this channel. Lesson number 2, a turbulent childhood.
He knows what it is to live in difficult circumstances. And I know that he wanted to find a way to make sure that others didn't have the same difficult circumstances that he had.
I am a product of public education. Certainly the first person in my family to ever graduate from college. Probably the first person that had a GED, because neither one of my parents ever graduated from high school. My father was a baker. We lived above the bakery as a family. It was a difficult existence when we were in school, and I only got one pair of shoes each year, and the shoes couldn't cost more than $5. That was the rule. $5 was a pair of shoes. I got pretty good at hitchhiking, and I eventually wound up in the Everglades and lived with the Seminoles, caught frogs, sold the back legs and ate the front legs. I got along pretty good.
Lesson number 3, his happy Navy years. As a runaway kid at the age of 17, he found his refuge and love in the U.S. Navy.
I loved the Navy. They gave you clothes, they gave you shoes, they gave you food. You know, nobody was beating you, and they wanted you to learn. I said, God, this is my kind of environment. After coming out of the Navy, I went to work selling Collier's encyclopedias, but then I was accepted to go to work for General Dynamics at Cape Canaveral. I enrolled in Brevard Community College. I started taking courses, and I became very involved when I was at NASA in trying to understand the brain and vision and things like that. I was accepted at the optometry school at the University of Tennessee, and the rest is history.
Lesson number 4, Herbert Wertheim, the inventor of color eyeglasses.
When I first started my practice as an optometrist, 98% of all the lenses that were dispensed for eyeglasses were glass lenses. The problem with the plastic lens is it was clear, and nobody at that time knew how to color it. So I took it upon myself to learn how to color plastic lenses. That was the beginning of our business. Our company now makes over 4,000 products.
Here is Wertheim's interesting path into becoming a billionaire. In the early 1960s, he attended the Southern College of Optometry and after graduation started a small practice in South Florida. At nights, Wertheim spent his time tinkering on inventions, and in 1969, he invented an eyeglass tint for plastic lenses that filtered dangerous UV rays, helping to prevent cataracts.
Lesson number 5, the brilliant investor. He was a small businessman and would not have become a billionaire if he was not an excellent investor.
Meet Dr. Herbert Wertheim, a South Florida optometrist and small businessman who in several decades became a billionaire. Wertheim could very well be the most significant individual investor many Americans have never heard of, and he recently sat down with Forbes to prove it. Madeleine Berg, a reporter at Forbes following the money, flipped through Wertheim's brokerage statements which showed hundreds of millions of dollars in tech stocks like Apple and Microsoft, purchased long ago at their IPOs. There are dozens of other blue-chip stocks in the portfolio, ranging from Google, BP, and Bank of America.
Lesson number 6, as circumstances change, I change.
And that's as the circumstances change, I change.
Lesson number 7, no fear.
I've never really had fear. When I was in the Navy flying planes, yeah, I had fear then. But day by day fear, I usually don't have. I don't fear business. I don't fear making decisions.
Lesson number 8, waste not a minute or a day.
Each and every day, you have so many minutes, so many hours, and what are you going to do with them? How are you going to express what you want to achieve in your life? And fortunately, because of my business, it has been good to me, and I'm able to take the funds we have, to take my time and my ideas, and be able to extend them. Yeah, time is the most important element you have. I have a saying that we all have time in common, and we all have our humanity. What we do with those two things defines who we are.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone happiness, peace, and prosperity.